Um, did either of you come up with anything, any topics or anything?
I didn't. No. If you're talking to me.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
My.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
we do.
right.
You mean they're not going to call me Loka?
I am white. I so pale.
I was thinking the same thing about myself. I'm like, I need to get like a modifier.
All right, what's up, guys? We've got the special guest with us tonight. Of course, Yuck will be on here with us co-hosting, and we've got two of the ladies from XHG. We've got Loka with us, and we've got Who Dad Ladies. So without further ado, let's jump right on over here. I would ask that in the chat, guys, if anybody can't hear us, you need volumes turned up, you need volumes turned down, that you speak up, because Who Dat Lady's usually the one that tells me if we can't hear somebody, if something's too low, too high, and it's going to have to be one of you guys this time. So appreciate everybody showing up. Let's see who all's in here. We got Stony, Deekster, Average Joker. We got Papa Tom in the house, Sevy, Rowdy Time, Mr. TJ21. Who else is here? Captain Joe, Mrs. Stony. I think I said Stony, but if I didn't, it's double the Stonies are in here. So welcome to the show, guys. We're going to be talking about some things tonight. Before we get into certain things this evening, Rocco, what's going on? Hey, great stream last night. The Reds are off. There's lots of Reds in here. That's for sure. We're going to talk about, we've got two people on here that maybe you guys haven't met yet that are in our stream team. We got Who Dat Lady and Loka up here. And I want to ask you guys, first of all, if somebody can give a shout out for both of them in here so people know the links to their channel. And talk a little bit about yourselves from a question that actually, not from me, but from Yunk. And we'll kind of start with you guys and then go around. So Yunk, what was the very first question we had?
Just curious as to like what got you both into gaming. Like was it influenced by somebody or just something you ran across? And kind of what was your first game or games that really got you so into it?
So yeah, no, because I suck at this game. So
we'll start with you, Who Dat Lady.
All right. Well, gaming now. The only reason that I play new gaming now is because of Tiger Jet. I, as an adult, didn't really play games. Had always watched him play Madden. The only game that he had played, and once he got into the Twitch community and he finally branched out to COD, I was like, oh, Pew Pew looks fun and easy, and I can do that too. So that's the only reason I'm doing COD at the moment. But I mean, as a kid, I had the little Super Nintendo systems, and played Mario as a kid. But that's it. I didn't really play much else. I had Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. But that was all. Yeah.
Well, you said you started to play games like Tiger Jet. No. You play games the way they're supposed to be played. He just joins in. But no, I'm just kidding. Not so much really. But anyway, yeah. Speaking of which, both you guys play Warzone.
Yeah.
I'd say that's fair to say that's your primary game, and you're both better than either one of us sitting right here. That's for sure. It's not even close. And so you're both better than we are. Dan, thank you so much for the raid coming in, brother. What's going on? Antidote, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you guys here. Kendra, how you doing? So that's cool. I mean, most of us probably started on a lot of those games you talked about. I mean, age difference is going to probably be a little bit different, so might be a little different with Loka there. But Loka, same question for you from Yunk there. So what got you started in gaming and gaming as a Twitch streamer?
Well, I started playing games when I was 12 years old. I was playing Animaniacs. I don't know if you guys know that.
So what got me into gaming is COD, obviously. I love COD. I don't know. And then like I stopped for a while because I got bored of it, like video games and everything. And then baby daddy, you know, he was on Xbox and he's, you know, he loves playing
The superior
video
system. I understand. I got you.
Yeah, and then so I got back into gaming. Went back on PlayStation, you know, did COD again, and then from there just did Twitch, and yeah, fell in love with it more.
So, was there a game you played before that, like that you got you into it, like as a kid or anything?
Like the Nintendo 64s and stuff, yeah, Mario and all that. I mean, I know that's more like, you know, but yeah, Mario, you know, all those games. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yunk, we've talked about first gaming systems before, but I guess yourself the same question. I think you've pretty much answered this before, but maybe for the people that are coming to the stream that haven't been here before, what got you started? What got you started?
I mean, the first system we had was NES and Mario, Zelda. I remember going to Toys R Us, and the first game that I was ever there with people purchasing was Mario 2. But you fast forward 8 years, and Sega Genesis was my first system, and it was Madden and NHL hockey all day long. That's what got me completely hooked into it.
My kids are running through the house there. You have to bear with me. I've lost my internet with all my questions, guys. This is going to be horrific.
Well, and just to elaborate a little bit of kind of a funny thing and surprising.
I got it.
When I had Genesis and I was younger, I played NHL more than I played Madden.
Yeah.
Look, it's going to be hard to keep a straight face when you type of stuff like that in the stream there. It's just going to be hard.
Right.
It's going to be hard to do. Oh, I think we got a frozen screen here, and that's probably my fault. There we go. That's my fault. I keep forgetting the way this thing's set up. I pop out the screens for Discord, and if I don't have that up live on there, whatever the last scene it showed live is where you guys are at. So you're at my mercy. At any time, I can hit a button, and you guys will be frozen on screen. I mean, at any time. So just understand that. Like this right here, as you'll notice, you know, and then I'll move it back, and you guys can move again. There you go. Everyone's frozen. They look frozen. They look frozen. So I've talked about it, not to get into huge detail with gaming, but just I play everything. I think I talked enough about mine on stream with where I got started and all that good stuff. But so we had some questions, and you all will freeze for a second because I got to pull these over in another window. So give me a second. I apologize about that, guys. But I will unfreeze you momentarily. Okay, you should be good now. You froze yourself, huh? You froze yourself. So, if you're new to coming in the show, it stops for everyone with me because I'm doing it straight from OBS and I'm getting their feed from Discord. So, you know. So we talk about different things. We talk about usually topics that aren't too serious or anything like that. So one of the ones that I had a question for was a food-related question. So we've talked a lot about different kinds of food on here in different parts of the country and what we call certain foods and some weird things we like to eat, things like that. My question is, if you're eating a snack that you dip in something else, what would that snack be and what are you dipping it in? So maybe you got to think about that for a second. I tell you what. I had already presented this question to Young, but he didn't give me an answer. So since he had a little bit of time to think about it, I won't ask him first. I'll ask you, Loka.
Oh, damn. So the snack. Well, I mean, it's just I'm not like crazy like some people like do like mixed stuff, but I just do like so. For example, chips, waffles with cheese dip or whatever it's called.
Did you just say you're just normal? You do waffles and cheese dip?
Yeah.
Like
I heard the word waffles, right? I'm not
waffles
crazy.
in cheese
French
dip.
Fries, like the actual chips.
Fries.
Oh, waffle
Yeah.
like French fried. Okay, I thought you meant like breakfast waffles and cheese dip. And I'm sitting here in my mind thinking, how would that taste? And do I want to go try one?
I don't think it would be horrible.
Is there anything else? That'd be
No.
your snack of choice. You're eating just potato chips or waffle fry, potato chips, whatever you're saying, and cheese dip, or waffle fries and cheese dip. Okay. So what about you, that lady? Anything?
I don't know really. Maybe I think maybe like Nutella would be something I would dip or spread on something. I don't know, something like that. I either put it on fruit or I don't. An English muffin. I don't know. My stomach, since having lupus, my stomach is so sensitive
Right,
that
but you can't.
I've limited what I can and can't eat. But so like Nutella or honey would be something that I would spread on other things because those are light and kind of natural.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Depending on if you have anything, medically with yourself that would cause you to have to change your diet. It's just like, my favorite thing is, I don't know if you guys eat Nutter Butters. The little Nutter Butter cookies look like big peanuts. And I like to dip those in milk or chocolate milk. Man, I love that. And if you were lactose intolerant or something else, there's no way you could do that. But that would be mine for sure.
That changed for me because if you would have asked me before, I would have been Oreo cookies or chocolate Chips Ahoy cookies and milk all day long. But it's changed, so.
I got you. I got you. So what about you, Yunk? You got anything strange or you just normal stuff here?
It's been so long since I've had like Oreos or chocolate chip cookies and milk, and now I'm just completely wanting that. So if you see me disappear, that's where I went. So like my go-to, like if it's we're getting ready for football weekend, I'll go get just like whatever kind of chips. Most of the time it's Tostitos, and I get the Tostitos chili con queso, and that's my go-to. I can eat a whole big jar of that in one sitting.
I'm not laughing at you guys. I'm laughing at the deviants we have in our chat, with all the stuff they're typing over here. But hey, we encourage that, so do whatever you want. It's fun.
But I will say lately I've been doing carrots and putting just a little bit of ranch, and then also celery with peanut butter, just dipping that in the peanut butter. So trying to be a little bit more healthy.
I'm all for the celery and peanut butter.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you.
Actually, let me see something here. Before. Hey, Denise, bring me that jar of peanut butter in there. Bring me that jar of peanut butter right there. D-nice.
D-nice.
Now, I don't know if you guys ever seen a peanut butter jar like this, but this is kind of used to eat out of. This thing's huge. This is my personal jar of peanut butter that I eat like every freaking night. I don't know if you call this a jar. What is this? A can of it's like a coffee can of peanut butter. Okay.
I love that.
How many ounces is that?
Well, I don't have my good glasses on right now, but it's 4 pounds. 4 pounds of peanut butter.
That's incredible. I love that. I don't think I've ever
seen
a tin can of peanut butter.
So my wife went through buying all this food and like non-perishable food and has it stored out on the porch there, just like in totes and things, but just like extra food. Okay.
Yeah.
So one night I ran out of peanut butter and I couldn't find any. And it's like, I'm always up late. It might have been 1 a.m. So I'm out there looking through that. And I don't know where she found those cans of peanut butter, but I found those in there. And so I think I went through one of them in a month. It takes me about a month to go through one of those, but that's a lot of peanut butter. But I definitely eat the celery and peanut butter. So yeah. So nothing too weird other than I thought you were eating waffles with cheese. So anybody got any weird things that you dip something in chat there? And I'm talking about food.
Actual food.
I'm pretty simple.
Stoney, it's okay because it's your dog.
What'd he say?
I'm not reading what he said.
Nothing like Jeff and Doug. Oh, yeah. Might be a game changer. Yeah, let's not go there. Let's not go there. All right. So we've got some other questions here too. So we talked a little bit about food. Let's talk about getting to know kind of each other as outside of streams and Lord have mercy, I can't even read the chat. But anyway, I was wondering.
Whoa.
What?
Hold on.
What's up?
Hold on.
What's up?
Southern Bowl. Pizza dipped in Thousand Island?
So just pizza in ranch, basically, right?
No, Thousand Island's not ranch. There's differences there.
Okay.
I
Thousand Islands is what?
Island.
Is that orange? I'm trying to think what it looks like. Thousand Islands.
Orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to love it as a kid.
Yeah, I mean,
I'd have to try it.
We would go to Red Lobster, and I would get salad there, and they always had the best Thousand Island. Now they don't have it anymore. So depressing. All right, sorry, back on track.
Oranges on a Big Mac? What do you mean orange? Like orange sauce or an orange? Because if you need to talk about fruits and stuff, you can ask Dan about grapefruits. He knows all about those. What's up, Yoshi?
Glad I didn't say banana.
Right. Well, if you've ever been to his chat, there's something about bananas and grapefruits you don't want to ask about. Trust me. You don't want to ask about that. All right, you going to bed, Dan? Thank you for the raid, brother. Appreciate it. Hey, so then, Thousand Islands on the Big Mac. Okay, I got you. So the next thing I wanted to ask you guys was, and this might be a no, so you might not have a story behind it, but have you ever broken a bone or gotten stitches? And if so, how did that transpire? Like, what did you do to make that happen? And I'll ask Yunk this first, because I know the answer is yes, so probably on both.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely broken ribs, and I think actually bones. It's just broken ribs from playing football. But I've gotten stitches once, and it was right here on my lip. And it was actually from a bar fight that I wasn't even in. We were at my friend's bar, all hanging out and stuff like that. And mind you, I think I was 19 or 20. And just this big, huge fight broke out. And I was just trying to calm it down and all that stuff. And like one guy had a chair and went to hit it over somebody's head, and I grabbed it from behind. And then I turned around and I got punched right in the face by a dude that had this big old rock on his hand. And I turned around and defended myself, and apparently knocked some teeth out. But the funny thing, come like 2 weeks later, we're both at the same bar, and everybody like kind of discussed what happened between us, and they were like, you guys were both trying to break up the fight, and just kind of like the guy thought you were into it or whatever, and like we shook hands, we talked and hung out all night, and it was like no big deal. So it was just.
How many stitches did you have to get in your lip?
Oh, 4, 5. It wasn't very many, but it was $1,000. I was like, "Hey, you want to pay for that?"
I've been trying.
Like, no, but I'll buy you a drink.
I've been trying to avoid some of these comments in chat, but I have to read this one out loud. Kendra says, "Had to have my Cave of Wonders sewn back together after giving birth to crotch goblins and his big ass head."
Was it the daddy stitch?
Lord have mercy.
Daddy stitch.
Oh my God. Wow. Maybe it was big heads, I guess. Okay, so so you got in a bar fight, you broken ribs, you got in a bar fight, had to have your lip sewn up there with 4 stitches. So who that lady, any broken bones or any stitches you had to have at all?
Yeah, I've had broken bones, but like barely, but still.
Broken bones, broken bone.
I've chipped the knuckle in my finger playing basketball, like 6th grade, something like that. But more recently, and I guess more funny, is the story whenever I did a shear fracture in my foot, like the bone just went shear. So what had happened was I was at my daughter's soccer game, and there was this group of kids playing soccer, and I thought it would be funny to say, "Hey, pass the ball," knowing that they usually don't. Well, guess what? They did. And so, of course, I had to move into action, and whenever I went to move into action, suddenly towards the ball, I broken that one little bone in my foot. But Tiger Jet will always pick on me because,
No.
I actually passed it. Yeah, anyway, so but yeah, that's my only 2 broken bones. So they weren't horrific, but still have experienced it.
That sounds crazy. So when you say you sheared the bone, what
Yeah.
What exactly do you mean there? Elaborate on that a little bit.
Okay, so I was wearing poor footwear and the ground was really wet. And so I was walking this direction and was continuing my weight this direction. But when the kids were actually passed the ball to me, I shifted, and I guess the shift of that weight on that wet grass with no grip, let that bone just go right there. I don't know. I mean, maybe that or me stretching my toe later might have broken. I'm not sure which.
She said they passed me the ball. I think he's laughing about this. You said he laughed at you when you got hurt?
No, not when I got hurt. Just when I tell the story.
Oh, when you tell the story.
Yeah, no, because he didn't realize that I was even hurt. I didn't even say anything at first. I was just like, I'll walk it off. Just walk away.
Just walk it off. Okay, so before we get to Loka here, O'Brien had typed in the chat that his girlfriend stabbed him in the chest at some point. That's insane, man. I'm glad you lived through that. Yeah, is this the ex-girlfriend or the current girlfriend? Or wife?
I feel like we need the story.
Yeah, I think we need something behind that. It says ex-girlfriend. Ex-girlfriend stabbed me in the chest, so that was a fun night. Wow, that's crazy. I'm trying to get. Well, you guys can't hear anyway. I'm just leave the music off. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, let's hope that's ex-girlfriend. So you don't have to elaborate on that, but if you want to, you can, O'Brien. We started with a big cup gas station. Say what? Will you tell us a story? Big gulp, probably like a big cup of
big huge pot.
She threw it at your head and missed. Oh boy.
So the next thing was, well, I missed with the cup. I might as well stab you in the chest.
I mean, is this like a? I mean, obviously,
I shouldn't make light of it.
Any stabbing serious, obviously, but is this one where she like glanced off and just cut you, or we're talking about you ended up in the ER with a puncture wound from a knife? You know what I mean? So that'd be my question. That's nuts, man. That is crazy. Why he's thinking about that though, Loka, we'll go to you on that. So any broken bones or stitches in your past, or that you want to talk about?
So no broken bones. I did get stitches on my left knee. When I was a little girl, I was playing hide and go seek tag, and there was a pole on the ground. I didn't know, and then like the license plate, the license plate and the stuff that people have, the black thing. Well, it cut me open, and then
like the guard around the license plate.
Yeah,
I got you.
The guard, yeah.
Okay.
It cut me open, and so I had to get stitches. I can't remember how many, but I got some stitches from that.
I got you. So Brian said she walked to the kitchen. Next thing I knew, there was a knife coming at me. Holy moly.
And then Stoney says, Mrs. Stoney, don't write that down. Perfect.
There you go. You scared it into focus. Hey, that was pretty amazing. You scared it into focus. The cop hauled you off to jail? Her off to jail, and you went to Walgreens and got a patch for it. So it was, I mean, it's a stab wound. It's obviously serious, but it wasn't bad enough that you had to go to the ER for it. I got you. Woo, man, that's crazy. That is crazy. So, I guess I'm like a walking ER story, to be honest. I'm not exaggerating when I say I broke every single finger. I raced motocross growing up and played football, and I've literally broke every finger at least once. Broken both wrists, broken my ankle, broken ribs twice, a couple concussions. I got stitches in my left leg from a foot peg on a motorcycle going through it. I got stitches in my back from sitting on a box to a wood stove and missing it, and it cutting me straight up my back. Let's see, where else I have stitches? I know it's more than those two. I don't know if the camera will focus in enough to see this. Probably not because of the lighting. It won't. There's a thin line all the way across. I cut my thumb off in 7th grade shop class. I'm sitting there cutting wood, and it slipped on through, and I didn't even feel it. And when I slung my thumb back like this, a girl behind me started screaming. I turned around, there's blood all over. And yeah, it
I
cut.
can picture that. Like
Yeah,
a
because
movie or something.
it cut so slick
Yeah,
that you didn't even feel it, you know. But they after that, I definitely did. So
Okay.
it was cut except for like just barely right here was the only part that still had skin, and they had to stitch it all the way back around, which he did a pretty good job on that. But yeah, so I've done all those. The broken wrists and broken ribs were from playing the what they called semi-pro football. There was nothing semi-pro about it. It was a bunch of amateur guys out there getting their. What was it?
You were too old.
I was too old. Well, let's see. I thought I was old then. Okay, I'm 47 now. I think I was 33 then, or 34 maybe, when I was doing that. I actually might have been a little younger than that, but I did get popped in the ribs by guys who played in the NFL at least. That actually played for. One of them played for the Dallas Cowboys. That played for West Virginia, and the other one, who did he play for? I can't remember. But anyway, they killed me. I had no business being out there. But so definitely broken bones. Not stabbed in the chest. I've been stabbed in the knee before. Guy threw a dagger at me and it stuck in my kneecap. That was amazing. But it's weird. Your kneecap doesn't bleed very much. It's just, I don't know why I'm telling you that, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So backstory of how I became a chief or a chef. Didn't trust women in the kitchen. A chef. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Okay.
It's funny, just the way things come around, and the fact that you and I have the semi-pro football thing in common.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't hear it too often, but
no, most people aren't crazy enough, at least in their 30s, to walk out and think they can still play football. I'll tell you how that happened. Is some guys at work asked me if I wanted to play football, and I'm in my early 30s at the time. And in my mind, I thought they were playing flag football or something like that. So I signed up for this. And then the guy asked me if I wanted to. Thank you for the sub, Southern Boy. Appreciate it. And if I wanted to like help run the team and all this. And we get to the first meeting and they're signing up for the helmets and shoulder pads and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. I thought we were playing like flag football. And he's like, oh no, this is full on NFL rules football. By that time I was already in it. So I just kind of went with it. And it was fun, but Lord have mercy. I was a little too old for that. I pulled my hamstring on the opening like day. We had cameras out there, news crews doing like a kind of a, what do you want to call it, like a combine type thing. And I was the very first person to run the 40-yard dash, and I pulled my hamstring, and I fell across the line, and the guy clocks me at like 7 point some seconds. It was just like, yep. And I'm like, I'm laying over here. Literally, the ambulance crew had to come out there. It was so bad. I missed the next 3 weeks, but anyway, so
that would have been fine for me to be like, no, never mind.
I know, right? I've been like, I'm good. I'm good
well,
for the season. I know it's supposed to be here anyways.
you were saying earlier, and I thought you were saying that Tiger Jet was like making fun of you because you got hurt. So she's not in the room to kill me right now, but my wife's got this thing. If I get injured doing something, she gets mad. Like, you're stupid. You shouldn't have been doing it. Okay. And she was standing there when I pulled that hamstring, and I thought she was going to kill me. I'm sitting over there in serious pain, laying on the ground, and she's just over shaking her head, like, and just like kind of walks off. And I'm sitting there, and there's like, paramedics over there. They're like, they think I ripped my hamstring in half, and but yeah.
You were too old to be playing ball.
Mercy.
Yeah, she's like, you shouldn't have been out there. And that when I broke my wrist and went to the ER, the doctors told me the same thing. He goes, well, you're stupid for playing football at your age, and you deserve to have broken wrists. Well, we're probably right, but can I still get a cast on it? It was a little crazy. But anyway, and he never saw the field again. Oh, no, I played for 2 more years after that, Stoney. I played for 2 more years after that, actually. But so, Yunk, I think you had some question about something about TVs or something there you want to ask?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll go with, what is your favorite show of all time? And it's like the one show that you can't live without, never missed an episode, always had it on your DVR, or even rewatch still to this day, like one where you can just go back and watch the whole seasons over and over and over, because we kind of have that capability now. So let's start with Loka on that one.
I'm not really too sure. I guess we'll go with Vampire Diaries, or
Ooh, I love that show.
Right, or what is that show called?
I've watched every episode, so I'm with you.
Oh yeah, that one, the originals. I know.
I never finished it. Never finished the originals.
It's good.
It is. It is.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the Vampire Diaries is something I'll keep watching and watching over.
So like, I have no clue what that is. Can you like just give me like a little synopsis or whatever?
It's about vampires.
Keep diaries. It's about vampires with diaries.
It's a vampire sitting there writing in their diary for half an
It
hour.
is. It is actually what it really is. And the stories from that.
I encountered a guy who turns into a wolf. Oh wait, that's not it.
That's one of the that's one of the episodes. Exactly. That is actually one of the episodes. Yeah.
Funny.
Casio says he's got a poll up too for best TV series.
Okay. At least can you do the 40-yard dash? Tony's just got done with the 40-year dash. I'm pretty slow, guys. Even when I wasn't injured, the 40-yard dash was in my 30s. Now, mind you, not in high school or college, but in my 30s was probably still. You're probably still looking at 5.2 or something. It wasn't burning it up. I played tight end and quarterback. I wasn't out there racing anybody down the field. Okay, so the ones that Casio's got up there, these are. Well, some of them are current, some of them are older shows. We got Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Vampire Diaries, and Seinfeld. I've watched every episode of 4 of those. I started out watching all the Walking Dead, but I never made it all the way through it. But okay, so Loka says Vampire Diaries
Big Bang Theory.
and Originals. In case you guys don't know, Originals is a spin-off of Vampire Diaries. Okay, so the bad guy. One thing I didn't like about Vampire Diaries was every single season was the exact same scenario, no matter what. There's something coming that is the worst thing in the world. It's going to kill us all, and it's the worst thing. We'll never survive it, and we're friends at the end. That was every single season in a nutshell. Every season. And the guy who's supposed to be the worst vampire ever is actually the guy who's the main person on Originals that with the show. So, but I did like all those. I watched every one of them. So,
Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory.
what about you, who that lady?
I can't say like growing up that I didn't really watch a lot of TV, or I didn't really know a lot of pop culture. But only through binging have I watched a lot of things. But I mean, now that I thought of something that I would watch over, and I don't even know why, it's Raising Hope. I don't know. I just like that pure comedy that they have. It's just pure comedy, and it's family fun. But
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I have to check it out.
I mean, they're funny, and I like My Name Is Earl. It's kind of along those lines.
I've seen My Name's Earl.
Yeah.
So, that show's great.
I'm more of a comedy type person. Not saying that it's only comedy, but that's what I'm more likely to watch.
Okay. What about you? Asked the question, Young.
I just had to look up Raising Hope because it sounded so familiar, and I was trying to think of who was in it.
You said you watched a lot of what? Who that lady?
I've just binged a lot recently, and I like. There's things I know that I like, but I can't remember them.
Exactly, same.
So, yeah.
Well,
I like Kim's Convenience. That's funny. Or
isn't that a Canadian show?
Funny.
Kim's Convenience. Is that a Canadian show?
I've been trying to get into Canadian shows. There was a Nova Scotia show.
If I'm not mistaken, Deke talked about that. I think Deke talked about that on stream one time.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, but you made up a good point. You're talking about binge watching things, and it's a totally different thing, I guess, growing up now, especially for the younger kids that don't ever remember before when you had to like sit there and wait for something to come on from week to week.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you're spoon fed all these shows now. Yeah, and it's like we don't even usually watch shows now until they're all out, and you can sit down and watch every episode. That way, if we want to watch 3 or 4 episodes, we can, or 1, or whatever. Might be. Ross says he only watches Russian shows. Or he didn't say only; he just said Russian shows. So, Yunk, you asked the question. What's some shows you watch?
Well, that means Raw likes to get through shows rather quickly, is what he's saying.
Okay, I got you. Comms.
So it's funny you said about like back in the day and having to catch the shows when they're live. One thing I can remember is TGI Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Always, every freaking Friday, I would watch all those shows.
That's the only thing I was consistent on.
What were those shows?
Dinosaurs, Family Matters, Step by Step.
Full
There was
House.
actually a Look Who's Talking TV show. I don't know if
Yeah,
anybody
there
remembers
was.
that.
Yeah. Yep. My son got hooked on those shows you were just talking about. I kind of introduced him to him. My wife watched all the Full House with him, Family Matters again. They went through the whole thing. They watched all of Dinosaurs, and she hated every single minute of it. She'd never seen it growing up, I don't think, or if she did, it was just like in passing, and she absolutely hated watching it, but he watched every episode. I love that show.
Yeah.
Not the mama.
Yep.
Not the mama.
I'm the baby, gotta love me. Oh, and Ross said Perfect Strangers. I love Balky.
Yep.
Yeah,
Perfect Strangers, absolutely. Hey, so I don't know if you guys have noticed it, and maybe it's been there for a minute, but I just noticed it last night, so I don't know. Netflix has its own section now, retro TV shows. And it has Saved by the Bell. It has all these on there, like complete the whole series. I don't know if that's on there because we always watch stuff like that and it showed up, or that's a new section they added, or maybe I just never scroll down and never see it. But it's on there now, so it's pretty cool for people who want to go back and watch that. But yeah, my son watched all Full House and he watched all of Fuller House. Walking Dead won the poll up there for the show that a lot of people were into out of those shows that were listed. My wife says Big Bang Theory. I don't know if you guys watched that, but there's 12 seasons, and I'm sure she's watched it in its entirety at least 3 times. Like completely.
I'm on the 4th time now.
She's on the 4th one now, all the way through beginning to end. So 12 seasons of that. And it is a great show. I love it too. Maybe not as much as she does, but I've probably watched it all through at least once, I'm sure.
That's so the Walking Dead is actually like my now go-to. I've watched it through at least 10 to 15 times, like no exaggeration.
Wow.
Like if there's nothing on or I can't think of anything else to watch, I will go back and watch it over and over. It's almost like a comfort series for me.
You said Walking Dead?
Yeah.
So I watched all the way up and through the season, let's see, where they went to the train yard, the people that lived in the train yard, and they were cooking people, whatever. And then they got out, and the next season started where they were at that hospital. I think it was. That's where I stopped watching it. So I don't know how many years I am behind. I'm thinking 3 or 4 years probably.
Yeah, they're on the 11th season.
Oh, I might be 4 or 5 seasons behind then.
8. Is there any particular reason why?
I kind of lost interest after that, man. I thought it just kind of went way downhill after that. I don't know what the deal was. I think when they brought out the spinoff show of it, which I hope didn't last very long, but maybe it's still on. I don't know.
It's actually going almost stronger than the original.
My Lord. It was so bad.
It got really good.
It might have. I quit watching after I watched all the first season. And I couldn't take any more of it. But I did enjoy it up to that point. It just kind of went downhill. So Captain Joe says Sopranos. I've never seen that series, and I'm probably one of the few people that haven't. Sons of Anarchy, that was a great show. Boy, that was a great show. Ross says he watched it 4 times in Game of Thrones. I've watched Game of Thrones through once, and I would definitely watch it all the way through again. It is amazing. Real One Jess says, when I was a kid, we had to wait for Netflix DVDs. Actually, yeah, absolutely. So you can get on a plan whether you got 1 in the mail at a time or 2, and you can keep them for so long and send them back. Younger people today just don't know the pain that you couldn't just hit the button and watch whatever you want at any second. Definitely the kids don't know that. Once Negan and the Saviors ran wild, it was done. You were done. Yeah, I hear you. Beer still on. You hate Seinfeld? No, Southern Boy. No. What show would you love another season of? Ozark, Cobra Kai, Arrested Development, So-Called Life. I've seen 1 season of Cobra Kai, 1 episode of Ozark, 0 episodes of Arrested Development, and I don't know that I've seen my So-Called Life. So I don't know if I could even vote on these.
I know. I've only seen Arrested Development, so.
We started watching Ozark in Discord one night, and the first episode, or maybe we watched 2 episodes, was great. It was a great show, and I don't know why. There's just so many shows on that we haven't kept going it. We just haven't kept watching it. But for me to answer that question, Smallville was probably my favorite show of all time. For a lot of different reasons. One, I'm a comic book fan. I'm a Batman fan. I'm a Superman fan. I loved that show when it came out. It also came out at the time when my wife and I had just gotten married and we were watching it. and we watched, never missed an episode. You know, it came on, I believe it came on, they switched nights on it, but I think it was Tuesday night, and it might have switched to another night later on, but we watched every episode of that. And somebody mentioned X-Files earlier. I think it was Southern Boyle. That was probably my second favorite show ever. I loved X-Files. When we got married, we had a laser disc player, and I had all the X-Files on laser disc. Okay. And man, we watched them all the time. I love the watching those on Laserdisc. That was awesome. I'm sure the quality of that now is probably horrible compared to what you can just hit and stream on a Netflix now. But at the time, it was awesome. It was at The Office. I've never watched It's Always Sunny. I've watched almost every episode of The Office. Only gripe with Smallville was he was missing a superpower. Which superpower was he missing? He got him as he went on through it. There was a lot of things wrong with the show, but I still loved it. And for those of you that we talked about Jack Reacher in whose stream were we talking about the other night?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, I watched so many of your streams, I can't remember which stream we were watching it in. It might have been Deekster's, actually. I think it was. We were talking about the different shows on Amazon. We were watching Wheel of Time, and the new Reacher show is on there. And talking about, I didn't even know it was this huge book series. I've only watched the movie with Tom Cruise, and nobody mentioned 24. That was a great one too, O'Brien. Smallville, the guy who played Aquaman on Smallville is the guy who plays Jack Reacher in the Reacher shows. So it's just kind of a connection I saw in there today. I haven't watched them yet, but they say it's extremely, extremely good. So I'm definitely going to have to watch that. So going along with TVs and movies, is there a movie that you guys have ever watched more than once in the theater? And if so, what was it and why? And if it's not, you know, you didn't. So, who that lady? Is there a movie you've watched more than one time in the theater?
Yeah. But it was because I was a teenager and all of my friends were going, and it was Titanic.
Oh, gosh, that's a long movie to watch more than once in the theater.
I don't know why I had that feeling.
The only one.
Somebody was going to say that.
Like, I rarely even go to the theater as it is. So for that to be the one is kind of funny. So, but I guess it makes sense because it was so hot, and like in our town, how they made sure to clean out this, you know, make sure they showed an extra one or whatever.
Stoney says he hates Rose. Every time that Titanic flute comes on with the sound clip in his stream, he talks about how horrible of a person Rose was. There was plenty of room there. She could have saved Jack, but she just let him die.
I thought the same thing. I guess I kept hoping for a different ending.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was just going to ask you that. I was going to ask you, every time you went to see it, were you kind of like thinking and hoping like something different would happen? Because I'm horrible with that.
Yeah, maybe. I was optimistic, knowing the truth, but still romanticizing that she would scoot over.
She just wanted that diamond. She just wanted whatever it was, the jewel. What was it called? What was it?
Hope diamond.
No, it was jewel of something. I can't remember whatever it was, but whatever they were. Heart, the heart. That's what it was. Yeah, heart of the ocean, the big diamond, whatever that was on there. He froze to death because of her. The Hope Diamond. That's what my wife said. Heart of the ocean. I think that's what they called it. It might have been the Hope Diamond. I don't know, but it was. I think they called it Heart of the Ocean in the movie. But all right. So we got Titanic for Who Dat Lady. Is there a movie you see more than once in a theater, Yunk?
Yes, and I know that there's movies I've actually seen probably 3 and 4 times, but for some reason I can't think of any. But the one I can think of is Anchorman, and I was actually interning at the news station at the time, so it was like a big thing for us. So I went and saw it with my girlfriend at the time, the first time, and I thought it was horrible. I barely laughed and whatever. And then one of my buddies from the news station were like, all right, well, let's go see it. And I was, all right, whatever. I went and saw it, and I freaking cracked up and died laughing. So it was 100% dictated by the people that I was with watching the movie. And I'm so thankful to have gone to see it again.
Yeah.
That leads me to a second question that we're going to get to after we answer all these. And I think it's going to be a good one that probably you've experienced before. So Loka, is there a movie that you've seen more than once in a theater?
Not that I remember. I have horrible memory, so I don't think so. I think I just saw them once, and that was it.
Okay.
Maybe
Okay. Well, follow-up question. Is there any movie that you saw in the theater that was like super memorable for you at the time?
No, I don't think so. No.
You're not a big movie person, are you, Loka?
No, I'm not really. Yeah, I don't really watch stuff like that.
Well, hey,
Like, I watch movies obviously and all that, but
what about a movie that you've seen at home that you'd be like, well, I would love to see that. I'd love to see that over. I watch that over and over at home.
Twister.
Galaxy, the Galaxy, the Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, it's a great movie. Thank you for the raid, Kaz. I appreciate that, man, so much, guys. So I've seen lots of movies over and over in the theater. I'm a huge movie buff. There's a totally different experience for going to the movies for me than sitting at home. Obviously, with COVID, things have changed, but I saw Point Break in the movies 4 times, and not the new Point Break, the original Point Break. Okay, the original Point Break with Keanu Reeves. I saw it 4 times in the theater. I love that movie. I've watched other movies over and over. I've seen the Star Wars movies. Obviously, every single time there was a different, part of them that came out, a different, not part, but a different, what do you want to say, cut or whatever. Like, they brought them out again and remastered them, watched them again. But I watched them before that several times. Lord of the Rings, I watched it, all 3 of them in the movies twice. I loved one of those movies. The Matrix movies, I watched those. I watched the original Matrix in the movies twice. But Point Break's the one I probably watched more than any of them. And I haven't watched that movie in forever, but Patrick Swayze was amazing in that movie. Keanu Reeves was amazing in that movie. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were in it. I mean, there is a new version, and it's not a bad movie at all, but it's just absolutely nothing compared to Johnny Utah and Keanu Reeves in the original one. And Nick Nolte is in there, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's the guy that the FBI person that he's with. You okay, bud? Just fell out of a chair over there. But that led me to a question. You were saying a minute ago that you didn't even like Anchorman when you saw it. And you went back and watched it again with somebody else and you thought it was hilarious. So this is my question. Is there a movie that you ever watched that you thought was horrible, but then you watched it again later on, whether it was the next month, the next year, 10 years later, whatever it was, and you realized it was a great movie and you just didn't really, I guess when you watched it the first time, either you just didn't realize what kind of movie it was or whatever, but a movie or something like that you've watched later on that you enjoyed that originally you hated, I guess would be the thing. So, Who Dat Lady's ever been any kind of movie like that you've watched again and actually liked, but you really, the first time you thought it was horrible or didn't like it?
Can think of was Napoleon Dynamite. Not thinking it was funny at all the first time, and then thinking it was funny the second time.
That's a good one.
In it.
That is a good one because
this is so stupid, and then I would laugh my butt off after that.
Right. Yeah, that's a great one because you have got to be in the right mindset to enjoy the humor that's in that. And just
not in a mood the first time,
and take it for what it is, because if you don't, it would be so stupid, and it is stupid. I mean, it is stupid, but it's still hilarious. Take it off any sweet jumps. I mean, it's awesome movie. I love Uncle Rico. I could watch it. I could watch Napoleon Dynamite over and over and over and laugh every time. But definitely got to be in the mood for it. Yeah, Kai says you got to be in the mood for it, but. Yeah, Titanic, that's not really a comedy. but hey, it doesn't have to be a comedy, just something you hated and then liked later on. So
hated, he said.
So I know you said Anchorman. Is there any other movie, Yunk, that you've seen and then watched again later and actually liked it but didn't like it the first time?
No, that's like the glaring example I have. I would say a TV show, Game of Thrones. I couldn't stand it at first, but then the more I got coaxed into watching it by the girlfriend at the time, like it kind of like opened things up for me, and then I kind of got into it.
First couple episodes are a little bit hard to get through, to be honest, in Game of Thrones. They're not horrible, but they're not amazing either. But once you get into that show, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's harder coming into it late too. like, you know, you have all this build up from everybody saying the show's great, awesome, awesome, awesome. Then you watch the first couple episodes, you're like,
Yeah.
Somebody brought up Princess Bride. Average Joker did in the chat. Princess Bride is another one that you have just got to like. I tried to watch that with my kids, and they thought it was the dumbest thing I could ever show them. And I love that movie, and it's total stupid comedy. I mean, the whole thing is just slapstick comedy that you just have to understand, and you have to just laugh at. You know, you get so many sayings today that come from those movies and things like that. Like if you ever used to watch Monty Python or stuff, you know, anything along those lines, that people, I don't know, if you don't think it's that type of show or movie, you just won't understand it and you won't get it. But Loki, you said you're not big into movies, but this could be TV shows as well. Is there anything that you watched once upon a time that you thought was horrible, but later on you actually like it now?
I don't think I really have one, but if I had to pick one, it would be Transformers. I thought that movie was so trash. And
the first one, the first Transformers movie,
all of them,
Some of them were trash, and I'm a huge Transformers fan. I'm just gonna tell you, but I like the first one. I thought it was good.
Yeah, I wasn't really a big fan, or even like Star Wars. Like I fall asleep to that movie.
Hey guys, we're gonna end the stream right now. We're gonna have to just stop this. No, it's okay not to like Star Wars, but we won't ask you any more questions.
Watch, I think the recent one or the second recent one, and I just fell asleep to it. It wasn't like, I don't know, it was just boring to me.
Man, you guys may not even realize this. You ever even notice like the fonts like that Stoney uses in his stream are all Star Wars? You know, anything that Mrs. Stoney has made or I've made for his stream, we use a font called Death Star. He's a huge Star Wars fan. He may not let you in his stream anymore. I'm just saying it could happen, but the whole reason I asked that question is because when he said that about Anchorman, it got me thinking about a couple things. One, just the right mindset to enjoy a comedy that's an over-the-top stupid comedy that you got to be in. And I'll tell you, when I was in college, I went on a date with this girl and went to see the movie and went to see Army of Darkness. Okay. And we went to this little theater and I watched it. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen Army of Darkness. Has anybody seen that in here? Have you seen it, Yunk?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So Army of Darkness is part of the Evil Dead series. And it is an over-the-top slapstick action comedy. Like, totally stupid comedy. I thought it was a horror movie. I thought it was a legitimate horror movie. And we went to watch this. And I'm just thinking, this is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I have no idea how they could let this be a movie that's released. And I watched the whole thing. And probably 2 years later, because I think I was a freshman in college at that time. Maybe when I was a senior in college, it might have been 4 years later, 3 or 4 years later. Some of my buddies were watching it, and you know we watched it, and they're just over there laughing, and I'm watching this, and now I have like a collector's edition of that movie. It's one of the greatest things ever. There's even like, you know, he's got shows on, I think it's on HBO that he does the God, what is the name of the show on there now? But anyway, it's like him after that. I mean, and it is a classic comedy movie that is just amazing, but you have to understand what kind of movie it is. And if you think it's a straight up scary horror movie and you're watching this, you're going to think it's horrible. But so that'd be one for me. The first Evil Dead, I think, was supposed to be a horror movie, and it ended up being kind of a comedy. So yeah, it was pretty awesome. But
what was the name again?
Army of Darkness. Army of Darkness. It is amazing. Okay. Yeah, shop smart, shop smart. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. You're scared of the dark, Stoney, you can't watch that. You'll pass. You know, we used to do, and we haven't done it in a while, guys. We used to, every Sunday night, we watch in Discord, we watch a movie or we watch TV episodes or something. And we really never watched anything really scary because Stoney's too scared to watch them, so we couldn't do it. You know, we didn't want to scare him, so we didn't do that.
All his fault.
It is all his fault.
Everything's all his fault.
Yeah. Earlier in the chat, somebody had mentioned shows on Netflix and how they would go one season and then they're just gone. So, Who Dat Lady? What was the show we watched in there about the superheroes? Do you remember what that one was?
No,
you don't remember?
I ate last night.
You remember?
No, sorry.
It was Jupiter something. Jupiter
Legacy.
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah.
Great season. And then they're like,
Absolutely.
we're not having another one. that sucked. We all watched it in there.
They did that.
Yeah, and it was awesome. There's so many shows they've got that they like make one season and they're just like, nope, no more. Rocky Mountain Picture Show. Rocky Horror Picture Show? Rocky Mountain. They're not going to have boots in there. Rocky Mountain boots. All right, so
That Mountain Horror Picture Show?
Oh, Lord have mercy. I'm not watching that. That might be good for some people, but not me. Let's see here. What were some other things we talked about here? Anybody in chat got a question you'd like to ask that is something we can talk about without getting banned from Twitch? Greg the Bunny on Fox. What?
I never watched that. I heard about
What is Greg the Bunny? What is that a show? Anybody know?
No.
Favorite animated character ever. So favorite cartoon character ever?
That's easy.
I mean, I'm sure everyone thinks I will say Batman, but there's so many iterations of that I could not really say that. Other than Batman, we'll say other than Batman for me. Growing up, He-Man was pretty freaking amazing. I loved watching the He-Man shows as a kid, and they brought that out in other ones. So He-Man was awesome. I love Thundercats, man. I love Thundercats growing up. Transformers, cartoons, all that stuff. He-Man and Optimus Prime were absolutely be that. Those were good. Powerpuff Girls. I didn't watch it, but I'm sure that was great. Roger Rabbit was a cool movie. It was. That's a link to Greg the Bunny. Power Rangers. I'm probably in the minority here. I think Power Rangers was one of the top 5 worst shows of all time. That's just my opinion. I absolutely think it's horrible. The acting in it was horrific. There's one a single show that was good, except for the movie. The new movie they came out with the Power Rangers was pretty good, I thought. But there's Power Rangers was horrific. So we'll say childhood or animated character, however you all want to shut your mouth. I'll try. Okay. Oh, Animaniacs. Yeah. Animaniacs was amazing. I loved that. You still stay Pinky in the Brain, Animaniacs, all that stuff it's freaking amazing. So, Loka, anything, either your kids, your childhood, like a favorite character or something you watched, something like that?
This one's a hard one. So let's go with Wolverine.
Wolverine?
I don't really watch. Fuck it. Yeah,
okay.
Sorry, excuse me.
Hey, it could be favorite character. That's fine.
Yeah.
So why is Wolverine?
Cartoon too.
Why Wolverine?
I know why.
To why Wolverine?
You're talking about the movie one. I know why.
Yeah, we're young. Nah, I do love, like, there's a lot of them I like, but Wolverine is, I don't know. There's something about him.
You like the character of Wolverine, or do you like Hugh Jackman that played Wolverine?
Yeah, I love everything.
So let me tell you a little story about that. Do you know when he went to audition for that role, he's sitting there, and he tells his story. He's sitting there, and he is in the room, and he's making all these weird noises, doing all this funny stuff, and the guy who's doing the casting is bringing him in. He's like, can I ask what in the world you're doing? He said, I'm trying to get in the role, man. I'm over here. I'm practicing all these noises that wolves make. And he's out there acting like a wolf and all this stuff. And he's like, what are you talking about? This is for the role of Wolverine in a Marvel movie, X-Men Wolverine. And he's like, I don't know what that is. He thought it was a wolf. He thought he was going to play the part of a wolf. He never heard of Wolverine. He had no idea what it was. And, he said somehow he got the part. And if you don't know, he's a classically trained actor, like in the theater. This role was so far out of the norm of what he would do. And it's obviously what he's best known for in the world now. But he's getting pretty old. But he will, unless they bring out a new one, which I think they're going to be, he will always be Wolverine for sure. So, who that lady? You got a favorite character?
Think of as old Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, yeah. I love him as a kid, and then even my daughter watched Scooby-Doo. Anytime we went to Walmart or anywhere, she wanted a Scooby-Doo movie. And this was before watching it on demand and stuff.
Right.
She always wanted a Scooby-Doo DVD. So yeah, Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo's amazing.
I just like him. I like that he's goofy, and yet they solve crimes and justice is done, and then they eat and never gain any weight.
Do you have any idea why that is?
I don't know.
You got these two guys. One's a dog and one's a guy that may or not be a stoner, that are always hungry, and they're always like in the back of the van, and they got to feed them Scooby snacks.
Yes.
I mean, it's just they're totally getting high throughout every episode. That's why they're seeing these ghosts. That's what's going on. But to a kid, you don't even think about those things.
There yet,
right? To a kid, you don't think about those things.
No, I had no idea as a kid.
Well, I said upside down. This is upside down, but here you go, Scooby snacks. We got some right here.
Raggy?
Are these for meat eater? Or are they for the dog?
You can have them.
I can have them. They didn't answer my question. Are they dog treats or are they human treats?
Crackers.
They're graham crackers. They're graham crackers.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about shows you can watch over and over, and we didn't really talk about cartoons, but growing up, Scooby-Doo was probably on more than anything. Like, it was on all the time. Like, every single time that I turned the TV on, no matter what time of day it was, you could find Scooby-Doo on somewhere. So that was
She made me
awesome.
mad by saying they're graham
variations.
crackers. They're Scooby snacks.
So what about you, Yunk? Is there favorite character?
So, who that lady stole mine?
She stole your Scooby-Doo?
Yep. Scooby. I was obsessed with Scooby-Doo when I was a kid, and may or may not still like him a lot now. And I may or may not have been working on animated emotes of Scooby-Doo last night.
Really?
Yep.
See, this is awesome. It's all coming around, and obviously, when you bring out those emotes now, you've stolen that from Who Dat Lady. We know that. So,
Yeah.
I love her Courage dog from Jess, what she said in chat.
What is it? Courage. That's an awesome show too. I love those cartoons in that time period. Like, that was when I obviously was an adult when those cartoons came out. But I always thought those were funny, like Courage, and at the same time was Dexter's Laboratory. They talked about that last night on the stream. Who was that? Rocco's stream? Is that who that was? That was doing a tier list. Yeah, Rocks was doing the tier stream, and they had Dexter on there, putting him at S tier. That was one of my favorite shows. All those were kind of the same time. Ren and Stimpy. Ren and Stimpy was a little bit before that. We used to watch that in college. Used to watch Ren and Stimpy all the time and just laughed like crazy. Which that's another point. Like, some of these cartoons and stuff that you watch when you were a kid. If you watch, let's say, shows or cartoons that you watched as a kid, and maybe you watch them with your kids growing up, or with, now you might watch them as an adult, maybe not even with your kids, but as an adult, and they have a whole different meaning. Like, those shows had some things written into them that you never really realized, like Scooby-Doo. There's tons of different ones. The Flintstones was like SpongeBob. Oh my God, SpongeBob's horrible if you actually stop and like look at everything that's on it. But there's so many of those shows that had adult meanings, but as a kid you would never, ever think about that. Toy Story, yeah. The Jetsons. Used to watch the Jetsons as a kid all the time. That's pretty old. SpongeBob, they'd be cussing in Dolphin, right? When they start cussing, they go to the dolphin sound on there. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but I need to rewatch it. So, I was trying to think if we had anything else. You got any other questions, Yunk?
No, that was the brunt of what I had. Well, I guess one thing that to kind of go back to the way we started talking about the video games and streaming and stuff like that. Excuse me. And I guess this would be more for just Loka and Who Dat Lady. Do either of you have any plans about this year with like streaming more often, streaming different things, or just anything, any plans on the horizon for anything as far as your streams go? And we can go to Who Dat Lady first.
I would like to be more consistent. This past year, well, really the last 10 years, I've been dealing with lupus, unaware, and I've only had the diagnosis since October. But now that I have the diagnosis and I'm able to properly treat it, I can now have a little bit better of a plan and be able to move forward and know what can trigger and avoid those things and all that good stuff. But I do plan on being more consistent. I would like to most definitely be a solid once a week thing, committed to that. And then, as long as my body allows me, I would like to do more, but I can't make that promise. I want to promise that I will do it every week now, and I still don't. So, but that's moving forward, in my health and everything, and starting to get better treatment. I'm planning to making a commitment to definitely once a week. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, and we definitely hope that works out.
Yeah.
For you to be able to do that too, and I know how that stuff can kind of deter you from streaming. So definitely hope we can get you back on more and more.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
How about you, Loka?
So I'm not gonna plan on having anything scheduled yet because it's very hard to take care of the kids and then trying to stream, especially if they're up, and just because my son's diabetic also, so I have to be on that, and like for me, I'll have to keep coming in and out because either the baby will be crying or but maybe one day I'll have a set schedule and maybe one day everything will fall in place. But for now, it's just gonna be random still, and whenever I could, and
yeah, sure. Like and, but it's something that you aspire for, which is very cool, and we're gonna get you on camera too while you stream, right?
Yeah, maybe
that's happening this year.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, one thing I want you guys to know, obviously. I think this comes across, but if it doesn't, to everybody that's in chat, to Loka, to Who Dat Lady, to Young, to anybody out there that's XHG, I'm hoping that by now you guys have understood that our stream team is a little bit different than other people's. We're not really concerned with numbers, with the people that, get these viewers, that stream these days, that do this stuff. It's very casual. We're here to try to help each other out. And it's not always meaning help each other out by making sure there's 20 people in your stream. It's by helping out any way we can to support you guys. And if there's anything we can ever do to help you guys out in any way, just please ask. And when I say we, I don't mean me, I mean all of us. And it's not something that, if you don't have a set schedule, if you don't stream so often, you're not going to be in this. That's nothing to do with what we're trying to do here. And I know that comes across. I hope so. It does anyway. If it doesn't, then I'm not doing the job that I meant to do. But I hope that is understood, and you guys are part of our family as far as our streaming family and our Twitch family, and so glad to have you guys. And I'm sure it's very hard to get a schedule. I know it's hard with the family, and it's super hard with younger kids and dealing with lupus and dealing with all the things you guys have to deal with and all that stuff. So, I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and I appreciate that you have a stream team that is not stringent and not forcing me to do anything. I appreciate that, I can come as I please, and the door is always open no matter what my participation is. So
absolutely. So guys, we I guess we're at the end of another show. This one's been a great one, just like all the other ones. Every single person that's been on here has done an amazing job, just getting to know people on here in different ways than we get to know them when we're streaming. We're talking about video games, and it's always centered around that when we're streaming. Even when we're in Discord talking, we're usually playing games. We're playing usually Call of Duty, usually playing Warzone or something like that. So it's good to get to know everybody on a kind of a different level with things. You should have had him doing the stream up there, Loka, is what you should have had doing. He probably knows more about TV shows and movies than you did. So tonight, we get the privilege of rating someone that should be one of the next Twitch partners that we never get to raid. And that is our awesome friend, Swain Games. And I want to get into that. Animal, is Animal in? He is in here. Animal. What's going on, dude? Whoa, God, what just happened?
He spilled water.
Casio, thank you for the biddies. You didn't have to do that, brother. Appreciate it.
And real quick, I'll say this about Swain Games. Swain's actually the one that brought Roy and I together.
Brought most of us together, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's very true. But he rated me, and that's how you came into my channel. And then you reached out to me shortly after. So that definitely holds a special place in my heart.
I've probably met 90% of the people that I've met on Twitch, starting with Swain Games, since I started playing Madden. There's people that are around before that, but very few. Mr. Dan is one of them. And we got a hype train already? No, it says it's closed. Okay, let's not get a hype train.
Well, we got it.
Okay, do we got it now? I don't know. But Real and Jess, thank you for the sub. Guys, I hate to raid out on a hype train.
No.
I'm going to hit raid here, no matter if there's a hype train coming or not. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for that. We do have a hype train, Yunk. Okay.
Yep, we do.
Hey. We don't usually raid out on a hype train, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And Loka just gifted a tier 1 sub too. Thank you, Loka. I appreciate you guys so much. But we're going to raid Swain. If you've never been to Swain's stream, he's an awesome guy. Thank you guys for the biddies, the subs. Thank you guys for just hanging out. And we're going to go raid Swain Games, Who That Lady, Loka. Thank you guys for joining Yunk and I on the stream.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, next weekend we're going to talk about Super Bowl commercials, Super Bowl food, and just kind of the family get-togethers you have for Super Bowl and the parties. And we're going to do it before the Super Bowl. So look for the time. It's probably going to be like maybe 5 p.m., something like that. Or I don't know. What time's the Super Bowl next week, Yunk?
6:30.
6:30 Eastern time? Okay. So we'll probably doing like maybe 5 o'clock or something like that to get ready for the Super Bowl. So you guys have a great night, and we'll catch you later.